Welcome to today's Product Play Tuesday with my Flutterby Moments. I'm going to just make sure that everything is connecting correctly on my webpage before we get started, or not on my webpage, in the my Flutterby Moments group. So let's see here. Everything looks to be going good. Okay. Well, we are going to begin. I just want to welcome everyone once again to Product Play Tuesday. This is going to be a new thing that we're doing today, which is a live class, which will involve free kits afterward. Whether you are joining me live or whether you are joining me at home, or excuse me, in the replay, I'm just getting used to the lingo here. In the replay, I want to do a little giveaway. So I have these two embellishments here, the resin hearts and the ladybug trinkets. And if you are willing to share your video, down at the bottom there should just be a share on the right side that you can share this video with others. In the comments of the video, will you please just say shared, and then I will do a random drawing to see who wins one of these two embellishments. So I appreciate that. All right, like I said, today is something different. It's a free class, and by class I mean we're making more than just one. Usually I've done just one project, but we're going to be making 3 projects today. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So first and foremost, you can go to my blog, which is myflutterbymoments.com, and you can download this is a free project sheet that gives you the information, the measurements, and all the supplies needed to make each of these individual products. So you can download that on my blog, and then also see pictures, and you also will be able to see this video on replay after it's done. So go ahead and go over to my blog and print that off. And the first card we're going to work on is, I'll bring out the real one, is this one right here. So this is all going to be using this Measure of Love stamp set. And this scale is my favorite image in the whole thing. I have one of these old-fashioned scales. My mom had one growing up, and so I just love it, if not for anything else but this image right here. But the whole stamp set is fun. So that's what we're going to be using today. And we'll show you some fun different techniques you can do with this. So I'm going to pull this out. Like I said, this being a new class, the way it works is with a $35 purchase before tax and shipping. If you make a $35 purchase by Friday at midnight, which is the 18th, then you can get these 3 kits that we're making today for free in the mail. So that's a good deal, because you'd have to buy a whole lot more to make all 3 of these cards than just $35 worth. So, all right, we're going to begin by folding that in half, and I'm going to start with the stamping first. So, all right, we have some Memento black ink, and we're going to stamp our scale first. Make sure you get a good coverage on there. So stamp that in this one corner. And then we also have the bowl that we need to stamp. And we'll stamp the bowl right there. Okay, and we have some cherries. So this is the fun part about clear stamps, is that we can see right where we need to put these cherries. So I'm going to take and ink them up, and then just take, I can see right where they land right next to the edge of that bowl, and stamp them like that. And then this is called 2-step stamping, where you have different things that go together to make an image. we have for Granny Apple Green, I'm going to use, there's tiny little leaves and stems. So this one's kind of interesting because it's kind of a little weird on your eyes because there's so many cherries but not as many stems. So what I like to do is on the left side, I line up the left one first and I kind of like set the stamp down, and then I can kind of pivot the rest of the stamp to be in the right place. And then I push down firmly. So hopefully it lines up that way. Okay. And then we also are going to stamp our Friendship Tips the Scale sentiment here. I love the fonts that are in this as well. I'm gonna turn this like that. Okay. So in your kits, when you receive your kits, they will have everything that can be die cut or punched will be as part of the kit. So if you don't necessarily have these dies that I use, you will be okay because it will be die cut for you. However, nothing will be stamped. That's the one thing I cannot do is stamp your images for you. That's part, that's Stampin' Up's rule. So if you really want to make these cards, you'll have to get the stamp set. All right, now I'm going to take, these are the Pool Party Stampin' Blends, and I'm just going to take and color in the scale here really quickly. I wish we had Coastal Cabana blends because that was the color I really wanted to color this, but I had to make do with the Pool Party, and it's pretty close actually, so not too bad. And I get nervous coloring on camera because I feel like I have to rush, so I probably don't do as good of a job as I would if I was just doing this on my own. But anyway, my scale that I have like this is yellow, and you'll be seeing a yellow scale in our next project. Okay, there we go. So I am going to, now the one bad thing I will say about this stamp set is there are no dies. So we have to do everything fussy cutting, but that's okay because these are pretty clean images to fussy cut, so they're not too hard to go around. And it allows us to keep our skills intact, right? Because if you don't do something, you will lose it. All right. Come around this way. This image is so clean that you could probably even cut directly on the lines without doing bubble cutting, and it would look good, but I still wanted to do a little bit of an edge to it. Okay, so there's that. And then we do have to cut out our bowl with our cherries. I used to have a book that someone gave me. It was called Life is a Bowl Full of Cherries. I don't remember really what it was about, but I do remember the title. All right, let's take... go around here. Almost done. Okay. Perfect. So there's our two images that we need. And then we do need to emboss, we do need to cut out the one image that is the sentiment. So I'm using the mini one today because everything we are using will fit on the mini wonderfully. Okay, so I have this, and this rectangle that I am using is from the Stitched So Sweetly die set. That is, in my opinion, a must-have. I use it a lot. All right, so get these on here and get this started and pull it on through. It's so much easier to have the small, the mini boss up here instead of the big one to do this with. Okay, so here is our sentiment. Very carefully pull off my little sticky. Okay, and we're going to assemble now. Okay, so this, first of all, you're going to lay down the white piece, and because the DSP is going to overlap it. Oh, there we go. So just make sure it's even, and then take your DSP and just run it. This is not being a nice tape runner. It has not been kind to me. So, okay, so then take that and just, it'll overlap the white just a tiny bit, which is okay. All right, and then we do need to do some ribbon around it. This ribbon is from the Paws, I think that's what it's called, something Paws. I don't remember for sure. But anyway, it's from that. And we need, I'm gonna have to look at my paper because I can't remember the amount of ribbon we need. We need 20 inches. And I just realized that's wrong, so I'm gonna have to change it on there. All right, 20 inches. So I'm gonna get my ruler really quickly. All right, here we go. So 10, 20. And the reason it's a little longer is just because we're tying a bow with it. So usually when you tie a bow, you need a little more than if you're just doing a knot. Of course, if you don't want to tie a bow, you can just do a knot. That's fine too. Okay. Get this situated. And when I am doing this, I literally do tie a knot first because it's the only way I can keep things tight. So I tie a knot really quickly, pull everything tight, make sure it's good, and then I tie the rest of my bow. And that usually holds it better for me. Okay, grab that. I don't have any nails either. Okay. Come on, bow. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to trim the ends here. There we go. Now we need to use dimensionals, so everything needs dimensionals on the back of it. I'm just on the end of a dimensional thing here, so I'm going to cut those up. Do one there, one there. Do half dimensionals up here. And then this one can be there. And there, and then do that one there. Okay. And our scale is going to go over the ribbon, as you can see. Kind of just right here. The idea is that this looks like a tablecloth. So, anyway. Inside the mind of me. Okay, the sentiment we're going to put right over here. And then, last but not least, we'll put our chair, or our chair of bullies, our bowl of cherries. That was backwards, wasn't it? and just attach it right there. And we have our first card. Okay, moving on. Our next card is going to be using the cupcake part of the stamp set. And this is where my yellow image shows up. I'll also give you a look at what it looks like here. So this is the second one, and I don't know if you can tell really well, but this is one of our techniques. We're gonna show you how to make the cupcake frosting look shimmery like that. So, okay, we're gonna once again, this time we're gonna do the big shot first. And I'm just realizing that my paper might not be small enough for that. Nope, it's not. So here's my die. This is what I'm gonna do. Here's my die. It barely fits on here. So I'm just gonna take and cut it off like this. Okay, and we'll bring in the embossing or the cutting machine again, the mini, and lay it down. Okay. There we go. If you don't have a lot of space, but you want to have a die cutting machine, the mini's perfect for that because it really doesn't take up that much space. And most of our dies work with it. There are a few that don't because they're too big, but most of them do. All right, so now that we have this, we can stamp. Oh, those are strong. They're stronger than my other ones that I had. Okay, so we're gonna stamp on this. We need our scale once again. Get that all inked up good. And make sure you stamp it towards the very bottom so that you have room for your cupcakes. Okay, because they're kind of tall. All right, so I'm going to stamp those. And once again, because these are see-through, you can kind of see right where to line the cupcakes up with the edge of that scale. And you can stamp them and make them look like they're just sitting right there on the edge. Okay, and then on this, we have a little bit of scrap piece of paper right here. We do need to stamp our the bottom part of our scale one more time because we want to cut out the circle part of it. So I'm just going to do that. And while I've got it here, there is a tiny little, it's the little hand that moves around when you weigh something. We need to put that on there too. Okay. So there's that. Okay. We're going to color next. So once again, I'm bringing out the Stampin' Blends. And I'm going to use the darker one to color in my whole scale. Like I said, I have yellow on it, and my yellow is like, it's really close to this color of yellow. So, alright, we'll do that. If you like these kind of scales, you can find them like on eBay and that type of thing. My grandpa had one that I think is the one my mom has. Or maybe look in your grandparents' houses. They might still have something like this laying around. Who knows? Alright, almost done there. It's okay if we go over a little bit on the scale part because it's going to be covered up. Okay, so there's our scale. And then, okay, cupcakes. Now these are easy because there is an image, a fill image, a solid image that fills it. So we're going to start with the base, or cupcake bases. I'm using Petal Pink, and I'm just going to fill in the bases here. Like that, and really simple. You just line everything up and stamp it. All right, and then same thing. We're going to do the same thing with our frostings. We're going to start with the Calypso Coral frosting first. And fill that in. Now it will dry it a little bit lighter. It looks really dark right now. And I'm doing all the solid ones in that color. And then I'm going to do all the ones that look like they have sprinkles in the pool party. I'll clean this off. And then go in with our pool party and fill in our others. Like that. Okay, so there we have it. You know what? As I'm looking at this card, I'm kind of wondering if I used Flirty Flamingo instead of Calypso Coral. I think I did. That's why it looks lighter. Oh well. They are very similar. Okay, now this is the fun part. We're going to take this. This is Shimmery Crystal Effects. And I am just going to start squeezing it out a little bit, getting a little bit on the cupcake, and then just using the tip of this to move that around so that it covers all of the frosting around here. And the shimmery part is already mixed in with this, and so this kind of gives it a little bit of dimension. It looks like the frosting is raised off of the page a little bit. This will take some time to dry. That is the one downfall to it, is it does take some time to dry. Okay, so we're going to set this aside and let those dry for a minute. And in the meantime, I'm going to cut my circle out here. And this I'm just cutting right along the edge of that circle. And almost there. Okay. All right, so here is the scale part, and we are going to, we have some new brads, round and square brads in the annual catalog, and I'm just going to pull out one of the black round ones, and I'm going to take the tip of my scissors and just kind of make a hole there and slide this through, just to kind of make, it gives it a little bit of dimension. So, put that on the back. Oh, it bent a little bit funny. Come on, slide. There we go. And then I'm going to take my dimensionals and put them on here. Cut a few more. All right, so put some on this side and put one on this side. And if we'd wanted to get really fancy, we could have even cut out our little spin thing and put that on the dimensional too, but I just barely thought of that. All right, so I'm going to bring our thing back in. Just remember that's wet as you put my scale back on. Okay, so there's that. We'll let that dry for a few more minutes. In the meantime, we'll get the rest of our card put together. We'll take and fold our base in half and put on our DSP. Keep in mind the measurements are all on the project sheet that you can print off. And this is about an inch up from the bottom. Okay. And we need to do some twine. So this twine is also from that Paws ribbon. It's a combo. You get both of them together like that. So I'll take and tie this. It takes 18 inches of twine. So I'm going to measure here. 12 and then another 6. I can't grab that. Make 18. Okay. Good to know my basic math skills are coming in handy. All right, we're going to take and tie the knot on the right side this time across the page. And once again, I'm going to tie a knot because that's easiest to get everything tight, and then I'm going to tie my bow around that knot like that. And then you'll have some ends to trim. There we go, I'm going to leave that one. Okay. And we need to stamp at the bottom. It says you more than measure up. So I need to bring that out here and stamp that on our card. Oh no, it looks like my Facebook Live is frozen. I hope not. It might be my internet. It's not been very nice today. So we'll see if it catches up or not. I hope so. All right, so I'm gonna this kind of goes towards the bottom and the center like that. And then last but not least, we're gonna bring this back in. Now this really is not dry yet, but we need to get it on our card here. I'm just gonna pull off 4 dimensionals and put them on the back side of it like this. Let's see if I can do this without getting my fingers in it. Okay. Pull off those sides, the backs. And then we'll take and layer this on right here. Actually need to slide my bow just a little bit to the side. There we go. All right. And I put that down. You guys, this is turning into a train wreck here. Okay. So I'm going to take and line that up. Make sure it's straight. And down it goes, and then I'll let it dry. Hopefully, is our thing still going? Yeah, it looks like Phyllis says it's stuck. Why can't I see the things? I might have to see if this will keep going. Just give me a second here. Okay. I think the video is still recording. I don't know. I'm going to keep going and then I'll figure it out. So, because it looks like the video is still recording. We'll refresh Facebook and see what happens. So, okay, yeah, it looks like it's still going. So I'm going to keep going. Okay, so for those who didn't see, this is our second card done. We're going to move on to the final card. Actually, it's not a card, it's a 3D item. So we'll bring that in here. Now, this is my most favorite 3D item to do because you can do this for so many different things. I've done it so many times, different ways. It's so easy as well. That's why I like it so much, because it's so easy if you need a quick last minute thing. And you can slide these, if I can get this out, the Rice Krispie treats. They always do these in different packaging, like for Easter, for Halloween, for Christmas. So that's why I like to buy them, because they're fun packaging and they slide perfectly into here. Of course, you can always find something else too. But here's how easy this is. Okay, we're going to start with a piece of paper that is 2 inches by 11 inches. And the first thing we're going to do is score it. So let me get my score thing. Okay, I'll bring this in. This is my score blade on my trimmer. I'm going to score at 5. Okay. And then I'm going to score at 6. That's it. Score at 5 and score at 6. Okay. And then just fold those. Make sure they're burnished good. Put the other one this way. All right, if you're stuck, refresh the page. That's what I did. It started working again. So, all right. And I don't know why I can't see the comments. I'm going to have to figure that out. Oh, wait, I could. Just a second. There they go. All right. So, now we're going to take this delightful tag topper and I'm going to use it to put this in there and punch each side of my thing so it looks like this, right? Okay, that's that. And then next we have a piece of designer series paper and we need to score that as well. This measures 2 inches by 6.5. So I'm going to bring this back in again and I want to score at 2. Now remember, don't push as hard on designer series paper because it will go through easier. So score at 2 and then I'm scoring at 3 and then I'm scoring at 5. And then I'm scoring at 6. So 2, 3, 5, and 6 are the measurements to score. Oh, and it looks like it paused again, you guys. This is not good. It's my... And I apologize for the pounding upstairs. That is my children. Life of having them home for the summer. Okay. I'm I'm going to fold on all my score lines here. And then the idea is you take your thing and you just wrap it around, see, like this. So it just wraps around. Now I can do it without it too. I'm gonna take and put some adhesive right down the side here and close this up. Make sure that it's lined up. Okay, so then it creates a little belly band, so to speak, and the belly band just slides down around the edge of this, and then you can just open it up like that. Now, as you can see, that belly band can go all the way down. So before I slide my belly band on, I like to just take and put a little piece of adhesive on each side so that when you slide it down and get it to kind of where you want. I used to like to leave about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. Then I can push down on that like that, and it stays and doesn't slide down any further, like that. So that's that. Now I would put my Rice Krispie treat in. I'm going to set that aside for just a minute and work on our little sentiment that goes on it. The first thing we need to do is stamp our bowl, and I forgot a piece of Misty Moonlight. One second, let me grab that. I even went through everything this morning and thought I had grabbed all I needed. Okay, so I'm taking, there's an outline bowl. It's just the outline of the bowl. So that's what I'm using to stamp in the Misty Moonlight. And then there's this little flower with 2 little petals on the, or leaves on each side, and I'm just gonna stamp that there in the bottom of the bowl like that. And take and cut this out really quickly. Oh, it keeps freezing, you guys. I'm so sorry. I don't know what is up with this. This is what I get when I try something new. Okay. I'm going to take and cut this bowl out. There. There we go. Okay, there's my bowl. And then I need to take some white cardstock and bring it back in and let's take that part off. I'm going to take my last die. This die comes from the Hippo Happiness, I think is what it's called. Hippo Happiness dies that go with the Hippo stamp set. So I'm going to cut out that. Once again, if you get the kits, everything will be cut out, punched out, cut out. So you don't necessarily have to have the dies to make it work. But you do need the stamp set. If you want to make them just like mine, you can always use a different stamp set too. All right. We'll just let that be. Okay, here's our thing. All right, so next we're going to take and put some dimensionals on the back of our bowl here. And put our bowl onto our little, towards the bottom here of our little label. And then we're going to stamp the cherries directly onto the white paper. So you need your cherries and you need your little green stems. Cherries up. And once again, I know my head's probably in the way. I can just put that on the edge of that bowl and line it up. And then I'm going to take the green. And once again, remember the trick to this is you line up the left side cherry and then you can pivot it so that it's in the right spot for every other ones. That was even better than the first time. And oh, and then leave your green open because we are going to stamp on, I've got a piece here. We're going to stamp the saying, which is sweet friend. So stamp that out like that on your scrap. Okay. Then we're going to take and fussy cut out the word sweet friend. I hate working with big pieces of paper when I'm fussy cutting. Feels like it's just too much. Okay, so I'm just going along the edge of the letters here. Notice how my right hand does not move. I just keep it in the blade. I just kind of open the blade up and let it go. And everything is done with my left hand. I turn the paper with the left hand to get that smooth. That's how you get such a smooth cut when you're fussy cutting. Okay, so there's that. And I'm going to take a mini dimensional and put on the back of that, more towards the top, because I want that the friend part to overlap just a little bit, like that. Okay, and then this, we're just going to put some adhesive on the back side of this and take and glue that about halfway down. Make sure that everything is straight, like that. And then last but not least, you would take some ribbon, which it's brand new here. Oh, I can hear myself. I don't want to hear myself. All right. If I can get into this ribbon. I do not like having to get into new ribbon because it is always hard for me. Okay, there we go. You take about 6 inches of ribbon and you'll put your treat in, and then you're going to tie it through like this and create a knot and then trim, and you're done. I'll show you how that would look, like that. Create your knot and you're done. So there's our last 2. All right, so once again, as a reminder, go to my blog, which is myfluttermymoments.com. Find the post associated with this. You can print off the project sheet. It will have links to my online store. If you make a purchase of $35 or more before shipping and tax by February 18th, which is Friday at midnight, then you will get these 3 kits in the mail, and they will be mailed at the 1st of next week. So thanks for stopping by today. I had fun. I'm sorry that there were difficulties with Facebook. I hope that next time that won't be a problem, and we'll see you later.